Thank you, Madam Chair. And yet again, here we are. Instead of conducting real oversight, this committee continues to attack American businesses. We're dealing with issues that the American businesses are already addressing. But we have a deja vu type hearing yet again. October of last year, we had a committee hearing with CEO participation from ExxonMobil, BP, Chevron, Shell, American Petroleum Institute. And how did that hearing end? Well, it concluded with a subpoena. Let's get the facts straight yet again. Here are the facts. From 2005 to 2019, U.S. greenhouse gas emissions decreased by 12%. From 1990 to 2019, methane emissions from coal mines, natural gas production, et cetera, decreased 15%. All the while, Russia's territorial carbon dioxide emissions per capita grew by 14.5% between 2000 and 2018. China produced 27% of the world's greenhouse gases in 2019. That is according to research by the Rhodium Group. And by the way, the issues, the figures I mentioned of the U.S. decrease of greenhouse gas emissions and methane are from the EPA, their report of April of last year. China's emissions exceed all developed nations combined. China's emissions more than tripled over the previous 3 decades. China has vowed now to reach zero emissions by 2060. How nice is that? They vow to have a peak no later than 2030. From 2006 to 2019, ExxonMobil's global gas greenhouse emissions have decreased 13%. So those are some of the facts. And yet, what has been the response, the current state of affairs, if you will, with our current administration? Well, the Biden administration cancels Keystone Pipeline in January of last year. The Biden administration shut down oil and gas lease sales from the nation's vast public lands and waters in the first days of his office, stopping drilling on about 23 million acres previously that were being leased to energy companies. And what was the result of all of that? Well, now we have energy prices going through the roof. The national average of gasoline now nearing $3.50, up $1 plus from this time last year. Energy costs like heating your home, which is pretty essential at this time of the year, it's risen 29%. And yet the reaction of the Biden administration is now, let's solve the problem by pushing OPEC to increase their oil production. Dirty oil, while the U.S. is leading the way in much, much, much cleaner oil. And yet the Biden administration now is pushing, calling, begging OPEC to increase their oil production instead of domestic oil production right here in the U.S. And we all remember the Biden administration approving Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. I still scratch my head over that decision. The pipeline alone is projected to emit over 100 million metric tons of CO2 per year. And now the world is watching. We're all watching Putin make his move because we have given him such an incredible gift. Now is the time to encourage the sale of domestically produced gas, freedom gas, as it's been called, freedom gas to the world. But again, the Biden administration is looking overseas to OPEC and other countries to address this looming crisis of Russia and their invasion of the Ukraine. These policies are ridiculous. They're hurting America. They're hurting our constituents. They're hurting their wallets. Ms. Tubb, do you believe that the U.S. is making great strides towards lowering emissions compared to the world's largest emitters of pollutions, specifically China?
Yes, and I think data bears out that freer economies are environmentally cleaner in the past, and I expect that to be in the future.
Thank you very much. I see my time's expired. I yield back.